Hello and welcome back, all of you amazingly professional consumers of Pax Day and Pax Day related content out there. I'm Altar, the professional gamer, and today has been a day that has been in the work for the last couple of weeks. Mainframe reached out to myself as well as a couple of other content creators, and they offered us the opportunity to sit down and have a little interview, an hour-long interview with the developers, as well as kind of a sit down, talk about all of the features, look at some gameplay footage, and it has been great. So I am going to share in this particular video the overview of the update, talk about a couple of things, kind of give my general overview and thoughts on the Proving Grounds update. We have two more videos that are coming out today. The first one is going to be specifically just any gameplay footage that was shown. It's a pretty decent amount of it. I think maybe about 30 minutes. So it's just going to be raw footage set to a background of just generic music so that you can just watch it. It's a lot of gameplay footage. And then there's also the hour-long interview completely uncut. Later this week, I'm going to also be coming out with kind of a breakdown and my thoughts on everything. Expect that to be coming out sometime around Thursday. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to this. Go ahead and also hit that like button, subscribe so you can get notified when we come out with any more Pax Day or Pax Day related videos, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in Pax Day. So as you all know, the update is called the Proving Grounds update, and specifically a couple of things are going to be changing from what we are used to currently. That first and foremost is the world is changing. New geography is kind of taking shape. Some places that used to be mountains are now lakes and vice versa. And as a result of that, everything's getting wiped on November 5th when the update comes out. Now, there is going to be more variety in roads. There's going to be more roads everywhere, and that's going to help with players hopefully not being able to block off a lot of pathways and passages for others. Now, in addition to that, we have changes in the biome. There's a new biome distribution. So the developers here, they're kind of going for almost like a Valheim-like progression where you kind of go biome to biome to biome, and each biome is getting more and more difficult. We knew that based on the maps where it would show a little bit of a distribution of difficulty across all of the maps. And you can see that actually down here. Here's a kind of version of one of the maps here. I believe that's Ancien. So either way, there's also a new biome that is coming. That biome is called the Corrupted Plains. It's where the cultists of Zeb are hanging out. And we're getting new PvE progression with additional enemy camps. There's also some entry-level cave dungeons. And the Inquisition faction is getting a complete rework. They're looking visually different. They might have different attacks. We don't know. And then also the Lost Souls are getting kind of an incremental update. Right now, they're changing a little bit, and then they're probably going to be changing a little bit more as we proceed onward. So when it comes to combat, a lot of really positive changes have been made. Now, there are going to be some of you out there who are like, it's not enough. And yes, I think they understand that. I think when you see it, you'll see that it's going in the right direction. Christian is one of the lead combat designers that actually joined us for this particular interview, and he talks a lot about kind of his ethos around melee combat. And even in the interview itself, I asked him a question, and I think maybe a day after that question was asked, they replied back saying, hey, by the way, remember that question? It got changed. I'll tell you what that is in a little bit here, but the melee combat is getting completely revamped. When you target things, your character is going to be pointing towards them as long as your target is on them. It's a lot more responsive. You can block out of attacks, so you can kind of do attack cancels, and any kind of movement that you're doing when casting spells will also do that. Speaking of blocking, when you are blocking, your stamina is no longer able to regenerate, and also it forces walking. So you're not able to kind of sprint in a backwards direction while also blocking. That is no longer a thing. Speaking of walking and running, the default now is set to running. So that's really, really cool to see. I know a lot of players requested that. It was a little too much for them to have to hit shift in order to get going. Now it's the inverse. You default run and then you press shift to walk. Falling damage is also going to be a lot more predictable. Spell casting, targeting is way better by the looks of it, and it seems to have been fixed. Before, it used to be based off of where your actual camera screen was. Now it is indeed based off of where your character is from an enemy, so that's great. And then there were also 3 early game spells that were added: the Breath of Life, the Breath of Joy, and the Breath of Balance. The Breath of Life is a healing over time spell, so your character channels it and you get healed incrementally over the course of the channel. The Breath of Balance is a stamina healing spell. This is something that they expect is going to be really useful if you're trying to keep a tank up and running with stamina. And then the last one, the Breath of Joy. This one is going to be by and far a must-have for a lot of players. It is a CC breaker. Holy cow. It also is one that, so once you trigger it, it's kind of like a cantrip. You just hit it, it casts, and then you're good to go. You also get a movement speed increase for a short duration of time by using that spell. All 3 of them are really, really welcome. They're early game spells that are being added. Unfortunately, Mainframe didn't mention any other spells that are being added past that. They did mention specifically only 3, so who knows? There might be new spells added, there might not be past those 3, but either way, they are early game spells, things that players are going to be able to get access to pretty quickly. Now, past that, enemies, there are clear nameplates that are going to be showing up, showing both the enemy's power and their hostility, and their attacks are going to be better telegraphed, so you can block them as opposed to kind of not knowing when they're coming. Camera and audio, there's a lot smoother camera transitions. There's new audio cues for both stamina, skill leveling, and NPC interactions. All great additions. Hello, y'all. This is Eltari, and I just wanted to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to notify you that there is an incredible event that is going to be happening this Saturday on the US East Danu RP server, specifically in the Golden Island of Dolavan. If you spawn in right at the Petra Day, you will see it. Chances are you won't be able to spawn in there because it's kind of full, but everyone who is watching this video, you are invited. We have been spending the last several weeks as the Golden Company putting together a awesome festival. It's going to be filled with a lot of different prizes, activities, and fun things to do, and you all as players are more than welcome to join. It goes without saying to remind all of you that anything that you get in the current game will transfer over into the new update, and with that, we are giving away a lot of magical items, all the way up to the tattered level of the most rare items that you can get in game for a lot of different things. We have the Great Golden Challenge. It's kind of like the Amazing Race. It's going to take you and your teammates all the way across a very large portion of the Golden City, solving different riddles and competing against other teams in order to get to the finish line first, wherever that might be. And there are some really great magical item prizes. If you are interested in joining, all you have to do is go over to the Professional Gamer Discord and sign up with your team of 3. Information on how to do that will be posted by Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do go over there and check that out. But we have a lot of other events. We have bobbing for apples. We have several different slides that you can go down, jumping puzzles, and a whole lot more. That's going to all start happening at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and go throughout the entire day for a whole heck of a lot of fun on Saturday, November 2nd. So go ahead and check all of that out, and I will let you get back to your regularly scheduled programming. See you in the next video. In terms of crafting, the journal, which we've covered several times, it's going to help track recipes, sort things, filter all info about new ingredients. And they showed a couple of things there. They showed that the new metal tier, which is actually bronze, is now coming into the game. And that's going to be really interesting to see. I don't know if there's going to be new bronze armor or what steel is going to become, but now it goes bronze, iron, wrought iron, and steel. Didn't see anything about high carbon steel or Damascus or anything that we've seen in previous iterations, but take that for what it is. Then also resource distribution is getting completely revamped. The resources are going to be getting redistributed to help with the progression. So obviously the most difficult PvE zones are where you can find really important and rarer types of resources like pure iron nodes. Then in terms of recipe updates, most professions are going to be seeing updates to their professions. And these are so when you're leveling up as a player, you don't just have 50 different things that are all getting unlocked at one point in time and then nothing for an extended period of time. Recipe unlock mechanics. This is, again, just based on the skill and items that are needed to ensure a more balanced and logical approach to things. Storage management. This one's going to be really, really big. You're going to be able to move stacks by just pressing a button instead of having to go and move everything individually. So really nice quality of life. Building cost adjustments. A couple of building pieces are going to be getting adjusted. And then new building pieces, we do get grapevines as well as curved beams. And then they said that there's also a lot of other build pieces that have been added as well, though we didn't really get to take a altogether great look at that, unfortunately. Now, last but certainly not least, some of the other changes that are coming. We do have the new skill skinning, as well as the impact of skills. So the level of these skills will now impact your character's damage output. The more proficient you are, the faster you'll gather resources. So effectively what this means is you're going to be able to chop trees down faster. You're going to be able to break the ore nodes faster, which means you're going to be able to get more things in your inventory quicker. And then also they're adding one click chopping and one click mining. And in terms of other things, loot permissions getting added. I do ask them specifically about loot permissions because I could tell there was going to be some issues with those. So make sure you go over and watch the full unedited interview. I think it's really, really informative. It is pretty long. It's about 45-ish plus minutes. And there's a lot of questions that are asked there. Highly, highly, highly recommend going and watching that. Or you can wait till later in the week when I have more of a synopsis of everything. Then we have clan permission changes. So there is going to be the ability to change permissions on plots and items as well, so that you can restrict access to either aldermen or elders. Magic gear, like I said earlier, there's 3 new easy to unlock magic items. Doesn't sound like there were any other magic items that were added, just those 3, which I personally was a little bit disappointed over. And then they updated a lot of the gear design. So that's kind of the general overview of everything that was changing. And I know we expected a little bit more, and I think there was a separation. It was going to be one big patch, and then it sounds like it got separated into 2 individual patches. So that is what it is. The Proving Grounds update is happening on November 5th. It's happening in the early morning of Pacific Standard Time, so be sure to go check out on Discord when it is actually rolling up near you. But it is going to be a really great update, a good opportunity to get back into the game. There's a lot more early game stuff that seems to be coming in, and the combat is moving in the right direction. So if you do anything, go and check it out for a couple of days, try out the combat, and press that F8 button and give your feedback on it. They will take that and they're going to continue to be iterating on it. There's also just a lot of things to explore, it seems, a lot of these solo PvE camps, and all good stuff. Now, if you're thinking, oh, this is everything that there is to learn, don't think that. Do go and check out that interview. We talk about other things like knighthoods, parishes, money. We talk about different item skills and all of that, how they think PvP is going to work, and a lot of really, really great questions. So with that being said, though, we are going to end this particular video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like. It helps the channel out. Subscribe so that you can be notified whenever we come out with any new videos. We're going to have a bunch of new videos coming out in, on, and around the release of the Proving Grounds update. I'm going to be live streaming the day of. You should totally check it out. We're both on YouTube and Twitch. And then obviously, if you have some friends who are interested in getting back into the game and you think this might be a good time for them, go ahead and share this video over to them too so that they can get all caught up. But like I said, that is all for this video. I will see you in the next one.